Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another My Music. Today, we're going to be speaking to Ian Pickering from The Noise Who Runs. You might recognise him from other bands as well, but we are not going to talk about them today. We're going to get straight into this new album, Ian, which is all about, or is it all about Generation X? This is my generation.
Well,
Talking about my generation.
Is it? It's my generation as well. I think it can be targeted at Generation X because that's what I am, and that's what you are.
Yeah.
But really, other generations, is there any real difference between the process of what happens with every generation? It's kind of the same in many ways.
It is. It's a different world, maybe in some ways, but
yeah.
Ultimately, we get born, we live, we do a lot of the same kind of self-discovery along the way, and then we die. Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
End of interview. Boom. But no, it's true though, isn't it? I think sometimes, I think each generation makes out like my generation. It's all different. It's all whatever. But is it, or is it just painted a different colour?
I think our generation it feels like, and maybe this is part of that argument. Maybe we all say the same thing, but yeah. I think our generation had the best of all the worlds, for a long time. The 90s, when we were in our 20s and 30s, it felt like a liberated time. It felt like the freedom had arrived,
Oh, know that. Yeah.
And it seems like now the analog age is over. It's a digital world. We've bridged that kind of gap, but then it's finished for the rest of the world. Yeah. For the rest of the kids, for every generation, that's gone. They don't know our world.
I do worry. And again, I've got 5 kids, Ian, so I kind of get quite an interesting perspective.
Sorry.
No, it's great. But it gives me quite a interesting perspective on it, if you know what I mean, because I'm like, my youngest is 10 and my eldest is 24 now. He's a lecturer, and I get feedback on their perspective of their childhood and their growing up from them at the different stages, and it's quite interesting. I do worry that what we lost along the way, once the internet took over, is naivety. That's the bit I wonder whether we lost. I think a lot of our kind of enthusiasm through like the late 80s and into the 90s was kind of pushed by the fact that we kind of felt that we could change something, we could change the world. And I think actually, as we moved forward and people understood more about what was actually going on in the world, and there's kind of more data on it and everything else, that people started going, I can't, do you know what? I can do stuff, but really all I can change is what's going on around me. I don't think I see so many people with the big dreams like we used to have, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah, well, no, that's it. It is naive, but everyone, I still think I could do that now. That's why I'm making the album. I still think it's possible. I still think art is the way forward for that. David Bowie said that. He was right. The art is going to be the one that does it. Because if it's not, it's going to be some billionaire idiot, like Elon Musk, who's going to ruin it for everyone, or it's going to be some terrible influencer who doesn't deserve a platform in the first place.
Yeah.
It's awful. You can't be led by idiots.
No, you can't.
But
otherwise we're all, to quote your album, thrown under the bus, aren't we? I mean, it's, who's getting thrown under the bus? Is it us? Or is it them?
Well, the thing is, they don't care, and we worry about it. That's the point. That's how they get away with it. We're busy caring, and they're just doing it.
So do we do it in some respects? Did we throw ourselves under the bus? Do you think?
I think it's a shame that the kind of movements and the kind of protests that at least used to be able to happen on a massive scale without any fear don't happen, and it's not visible. It's not visible that people actually really are opposed to so many things about how the world is run.
Absolutely.
You know, there's billions of us. It doesn't make sense.
Let's get into some of the sonics of this album, right? And then we can come back to the politics maybe later. Okay. Firstly, We Are Breach. That's low, isn't it?
Yes. That's low.
Did you? What time of the day did you record that vocal?
Wow. Well, that was a song that I'd written. That was supposed to be in a short thriller movie, like a 15-minute thriller movie about people who break into other people's houses, hide, and film them for fun.
Right.
And that was the idea for this. Yeah, and it never got made, but I wrote this song for it, and they kept coming back to me and said, okay, it's got to be shorter. It's got to be shorter. So eventually, I changed it into this 30-minute song. Sorry, this 30-second song, and that was it.
That was it.
And I lost it. I had one version of it recorded that I gave to them, this original one, and I had nothing else. I had nothing saved. I had one MP3. And I just kept thinking about it, and it just came back to me, and I went, okay. And I found the copy. So I had to do it all again from scratch. And basically, I didn't really remember the chord. And I just went, and I played it lower than it ever was. So it ended up super low.
I started right down there.
Yeah. But it was kind of meant to be sinister in a way, you know, and whispered.
Great.
But yeah.
I mean, Andrew Aldridge, like Sisters of Mercy, would have been really proud of you on that. You know.
Well, you know, that's very kind.
You know, it's got that kind. It has got kind of a gothic kind of feel to it in a way, hasn't it? It's kind of. Do you know what I mean? It's got that kind of.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. I mean, the vocals are not really. I don't know how much of the vocals are ever intentional. I just kind of do it and hope for the best every time. My voice is my voice. I don't really think so much about it.
The other thing that's really noticeable across the album is that there's tracks that are much kind of cleaner in terms of more keyboard sequency type sounds, and then there's tracks that kind of mix kind of a guitar sound with keyboards. What's interesting from a listener's perspective is that on some of the songs, especially where you've got the guitar in there, I then start going, well, is he now still playing? Is that a guitar playing, or is that a sequence guitar? Is that like something playing a guitar sound?
No, that's me playing guitar. I bought a new guitar when I was halfway through making some of the songs, and it's the first time I've ever had a really decent guitar. The last electric guitar, it was like €90 from a charity shop.
Nice, yeah.
You know? Yeah. So this one, I thought, okay, I'll splash out a little bit. Things are not so bad. And I don't know. It was like, oh, hello. You know, it's
hello.
I sounded better than I thought I was. And so and I think the first thing I did was I tried it out on a song called "This Song Sucks," which was all just keyboards and synths, kind of quite dancey in a way, and it just kind of lifted the whole song. So then I put it on some other tracks, and then I started writing with the guitar again, and it just worked out that way. But no, it's not. It's definitely me. I'm not a brilliant guitarist, but no, all the guitar is live.
But I like what you're doing with the guitar amongst the synths, because even when you've got like guitar in there on some of the songs, you've got like little sounds over the top, keyboardy type sounds over the top, which it's quite subtle, but it's nice because it's interesting to the ear, if you know what I mean. It makes the listen to this. This is not pure kind of electronic. This isn't like sat in the 80s, if you know what I mean, but it's not sort of sat in the 90s either. It's a mix. It's really good. Really enjoy it.
Yeah, it's nice with the guitars. I put an increasing amount of effort into it now. So the stuff that's coming after this is like, oh, okay, what's he doing with the guitars? Hopefully, I don't. But this one, I record the guitar and then I sort of turn it into a WAV, and then I mess with that with some effects, and then you turn it. You put there's a kind of a layered thing going on with some of the sounds,
So you are to some extent with the sound of it. You're playing with that sound once you've got the initial.
I'm creating another instrument with the guitar track, if you like, almost.
That's probably what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
There's a very English vibe to this album as well. I mean, it feels like it's a good statement on the UK. Commercial Road, right? I've got an idea for you with Commercial Road. Okay. When I heard that, I know they've retired this year now, or they are retiring. But I just feel like you should get a remix done of that with Sarah Cracknell singing it, Saint Etienne, because that song could sit. That song could sit on the Saint Etienne album, I feel.
I remember seeing Saint Etienne at Sheffield University at the Lead Mill. That would be a great idea. I'd love that.
Feels like that whole.
It's from that era, Graham. I wrote that song in 1995.
So it is from that era. Yeah.
Not the lyrics. I wrote it in Portsmouth. I moved to Birmingham because I got a job as a journalist, and there was a street called Commercial Road. So being a good writer, I went, "Oh, Commercial Road, I'll have that for free."
Yeah.
And I kind of wrote some standing lyrics, and never finished it. Yeah. And then I just sort of started playing it. I wanted a couple more tracks for the album because I only had 8. And I thought, what could I have? And I played it, and I wrote some new lyrics, and it was like, oh, okay, let's go. But yes, it's that era for sure.
There you go.
And I did love the band, yeah.
Well, look, maybe what we'll do is we'll tag them in when this goes out, and as I say, I mean they're disbanding this year after many years of service.
I read that.
So maybe they could just come and do this as a kind of little final thing. That would be nice, wouldn't it? That would be
very sweet. Yeah, I would love that.
Sarah, if you're watching, we'd love you to do that. That would be great. What's your favorite track from the album? What actually did what took the longest time?
The longest time, Psychopath.
Yeah.
Trust me, I'm a psychopath. Turns out I'm a psychopath. Trust me, I'm a psychopath. I think I went between the two. See, it took the longest time to even decide on the name. So I don't know. Without looking, I don't know which it is half the time. But
that took the longest. Why did that take so long?
Because you had to do a lot of instruments quite well. So the piano had to be good, the guitar had to be good, but the backing sounds, the kind of effects in the background, kind of circling round and panning, they took a long time because that was basically a sample of something, and it was turned backwards, and it was taken up tempos and down tempos to disguise it.
What is that song actually about?
Backing sequence.
Yeah, what's that song?
That song is really about populism and putting our faith in people for the wrong reasons. Basically, it wasn't. It was written in 2023. So
it's kind of anti-influencer, really, isn't it?
It's anti-influence. It's anti populist leader. It's anti-Trump. It's anti-billionaire Bezos.
Yeah.
All the people in the list on the Bodies Are Under the Bus video. It's these people.
Yeah. Have you ever read Thomas Erickson's book, which is fascinating, called Surrounded by Psychopaths?
No. Thomas Erickson, Surrounded by Psychopaths.
Yes.
Okay.
An interesting book. So he kind of delves into this idea that we're all made up of kind of different colours, you know, in terms of personality types and whatever. He has his first book was called Surrounded by Idiots. He has some great titles. He has some great titles. But it's interesting because when you read a book like that, what you realise is kind of, he's not saying, I want you to accept the people around you, even though their behaviour might be psychopathic. But what it does do is it makes you reflect on where your behaviour, your personal behaviour, may be similar, right? And where maybe their view of the world is coming from, which I think is quite interesting because I mean, he's a great guy. I think what he's talking about is ultimately if we want to try getting back to that piece that we were talking about earlier of like believing we can actually do something better in the world, if we want to try and engage with these people at all, we have to kind of start with, well, what is making you be like that?
Yeah, yes. And it seems that it's a lot of daddy issues, but no. you know, which is weird from a bunch of men who are so heterosexual and strong.
Yeah, it is.
You know.
Yeah.
But no, you're absolutely right. But, you know, do we have time to understand these people?
Probably not.
You know?
Probably not. But I at least approach, certainly when, I don't know about you and what your online kind of life is like, but I certainly try and approach anybody when I'm online with that kind of viewpoint of, okay, I'm going to try and understand you, and I'm not just going to go, right, you're coming out with that, you know, I don't want to speak to you. I'm not going to cancel you, you know, because I'd rather sit in a conversation with someone and then accept that, look, we ain't going to get on. It ain't going to happen. But, you know, at least let them walk away with the view of like, maybe you've learned something from this conversation. Hopefully you have, you know?
Yeah. No, absolutely. It's, I mean, it's all built up to be a bit of a free-for-all, but I don't believe that's the majority of people who engage online or engage on social media, you know?
No, I don't think it is.
It's, you know, but it's just that exists probably a little too much, the kind of cesspit area and the nonsense.
I think so. Well, but at the same time, do you not think that one of the things that exists too much, talking about these different generations, one of the things that is very different about maybe Gen X and the generations now is this whole thing about cancel culture, right? Which is like, as soon as you say something that is different from somebody else, someone just goes, right, cancel, away, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, is one of the things, is one of the kind of hopes in this album and the things that you're talking about from kind of looking at what's going on now, but also taking that kind of viewpoint from Generation X that, okay, look, folks, I totally understand where you're coming from, but, you know, one of the things that we did in Generation X is we sat down at the table. We did sit down at the table, you know?
Yeah.
You think like the peace talks in Northern Ireland, which we lived through, right?
Yeah,
They wouldn't have
yeah,
they wouldn't have happened if people didn't actually deal with some tough conversations, right?
yeah,
I don't think they
yeah.
would have happened now.
No, not at all. I think it all followed on. We had a bit of a bump. So we got the end of the war. So we've got this post-war kind of deal,
Yeah,
which is very good. Thank you. Things are going to change for the people, you know.
yeah,
For the ordinary world is going to be a different place. We got the Cold War, but in a way that's more secure. It's very black and white, you know. But then when the Soviet Union collapsed, our generation got a bit of a ride for the freedom. You know, Vietnam was a disaster. You know, a lot of protests, a lot of anti-war feeling going on, and basically we had a new wave of optimism because of that. Because suddenly, we can't deny that that's a big event: the fall of the Berlin Wall, the collapse of the Soviet Union. You know, it didn't really last so long. It's probably worse than it was, but for about 20 years, it was good.
I think we sat through some momentous events of people coming together for good. Live Aid,
Live Aid,
Free
yeah,
Nelson Mandela, all
absolutely.
of that. Do you know what I mean? I feel like we sat through some phenomenal, especially around music. We sat through some phenomenal
Yeah, yeah,
points, cultural points, where people believed in the power of music to come together and unify. I think
yeah,
that's important. You know, maybe it's why
yeah.
we're still so optimistic.
And that's it. There is almost no possibility of a Live Aid moment because it's a little bit cynical and jaded. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
oh, another self-righteous sort of rock singer, as Lou Reed said. You know, brilliant. Who needs that? You know, put your money where your mouth is. If I could tour the world for free, I would do it.
Yeah.
You know, really. I have a plan. I'm formulating a plan so I can go out and just play everywhere for free. No one has to pay for a ticket. I'm just there. You know,
Oh,
that's why I
that's
need this mixing desk.
that sounds interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Trying to work out a way to do it. You know.
Is can I don't want to go into details because you're obviously trying to keep this under your hat, but is technology involved in this plan?
Uh, Technology is involved unless I can find enough people willing to do a world tour for absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll
I
see.
doubt it.
Ah,
I wish
musicians.
you could. I wish you could. Yeah.
Musicians always wanting more.
Or a philanthropist with actual good intent. You know, that would be nice.
Yeah. Maybe someone just wants to see the world. It's fine before it's gone, before it's too
Yeah.
late. You know,
Oh, you
before we're not allowed to travel.
you could sell it as almost a package holiday.
There you go.
Tour the world with Ian.
Yeah.
It's like a curated package holiday.
including music lessons.
Yeah, you get to carry my laptop everywhere. So that's brilliant.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you about technology. I mean, you're someone that's embraced technology throughout your career. Can you get thinking back, right? Starting sort of 1980s, 90s, sort of 2000s, and then now. What have been the most for you? Been the most exciting technological breakthroughs that have been good in music? Let's go away from the negative side for a minute. But what was the most exciting thing for you?
I would say the affordable synthesizer as a new instrument at the turn.
What was the first synth you bought?
The first synth I had access to was Liam from Sneaker Pimps. Him and his brother got a Roland SH-101.
Nice.
Yeah. In maybe about 1982 they got that.
Shall I tell you the first one I bought?
Yeah, what was it?
I bought a Yamaha CX5M which was a.
Ah,
Do you remember that? It was a music computer.
Liam got one of those. I have it. I have it at home on my loft still. I'm going to bring it to France next time I'm over. Yeah,
It's great.
I've still
It
got
had
one.
a Mitsubishi computer with a cart system.
Yes.
So yeah, and then was it a 5-octave keyboard? It was quite a good keyboard package that came
you
with
could
it.
get a different keyboard, but no, it was a really good instrument. That's what, and you know, it's a good precursor to everything you end up doing in the studio with like VST, Cubase. That was one of the first ones that we were using.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it kind of met that. It met that kind of thing between sort of like actually programming in the notes and playing. It didn't quite have the activeness on it that it, like, you know, a modern instrument would, but it was getting there, and it had MIDI. It was there with MIDI.
Yeah.
You know?
We hooked it up with a drum machine. Everything. Yes,
I know.
It was good fun. We were just 13, 14 years old, you know.
Exactly.
But that's what we wanted to do all our lives. Yeah.
Wow. I know a lot of people at the time were buying sort of Casio sort of kit. Which, you know, because everybody sold. Do you remember there was a time when everybody sold keyboards, like Dixon's on the high street and everywhere like that? And at Christmas time, it was awful because you'd go into these shops and everyone had set off Last Christmas by Wham on the demo button.
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
Dixon's, we had Dixon's, we had Tandy in Hartlepool. That was another one. They had exactly the same set. Rumbelows, that was weird.
Rumbelows.
Yes.
Yeah. The thing is that a lot of us back then, part of the fun of the music thing as well was trying to get, because like instruments these days, you've got virtual instruments on a computer and you've got great software and it's all amazing and whatever. But part of the fun was actually trying to get things to work, wasn't it? Just literally trying to get it to work, you know?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Oh no, the cable's gone again. I'm going to have to solder that, you know?
Yes. Nothing was for the faint-hearted. If you weren't really interested, you were going to go out your bike or play football with your mates. But no, it took an effort to do everything, you know.
Yeah. Do you remember your first? Do you remember your first sort of recording thing that you bought, like a Tascam, or what was the first way of recording that you bought?
I didn't. I never did. Other people had them.
Nice.
The first thing I had was a hand-me-down from the Sneaker Pimps in about, I think it would have been about just the turn of the century, and it was something they used, an Akai DR16, so a 16-track digital recorder like this, and that's exactly what I'm digging out, because I used to use that to play live when I was in a band called Transporter during the Sneaker Pimp days. And I thought, okay, I'm going to try it like that. So I'm going to try it again using the DR16 and the mixing desk. So it's very retro, but I could theoretically just lump everything around on a train and play anywhere I want to go. That's my theory.
I do like the fact that, you know, there's something about physically feeling like setting the levels and, you know, as opposed to like, you know, turning something up or down on a computer. The visceral nature of it is quite exciting, I feel. You know, I bought an 8-track at one point, very expensive. But tape 8-track, it was great. And it was kind
like
of
a reel-to-reel tape.
No, it was cassette tape 8-track.
Okay, yeah. Oh, cool. Yes.
And it was really good. It had the most intricate head mechanism on it to achieve this thing. But yeah, it kind of acted as kind of a mixing desk and stroke recording instrument. But we recorded loads of stuff on that. It was great, you know. The thing is
And
that
is that like expensive at the time? Sorry.
oh, massively, yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah, that's
Massively expensive. Everything was massively expensive. I was telling someone the other day when I first bought a CD player, right? When I was 16, I worked all summer holidays on a building site, and I got all this money, and I spent the whole lot on a decent stereo, right? As you do, and of course back then, decent stereos actually were loud, right? You know, because you had something, and it was like 200 watt or whatever, whereas nowadays it's like 3 watt, and it's like
yes.
But I wanted to get into the new CD technology. CDs had only just come out, and I bought this Philips CD player because they kind of invented CD. And it was play, pause, skip. That was it. That was the whole thing, right? And that was like 300 quid back in the day.
Oh yeah. No, it used to music to listen to music, you know, on anything decent used to be costly. To make music, you know, someone had to have some money to invest there, or you had to have very lucky friends, you know? It's
Rich
not
friends.
easy.
Rich friends.
Yeah, this is why guitar music is always so popular among young people, because it's cheap and it's cheerful. You know?
Very quick story for you, because you'll love this one. You'll remember Jean-Michel Jarre, of course.
Of course, yes.
Of course. And in a design project at school, my mate made a guitar. So he crafted his own guitar, which was tremendous, right? But my other mate, whose dad was a millionaire, right? He made this is a true story. He made a laser harp.
No.
Yes.
Jesus.
And then he sold it for 20 grand.
My God. Okay. Wow. Yeah. I couldn't even manage an OXO cube dispenser in design and technology.
Do you know what I mean?
Really?
It was just completely outlandish. For anyone that doesn't know what a laser harp is, go and watch some old Jean-Michel Jarre videos. But he used to play this old laser harp. It's just like a big MIDI instrument with lasers. Amazing.
Yeah. Oh my God. That's stunning. What a bizarre school.
It was. What do you want people to take away from this album? Is there something you'd like them to take away? Or, I mean, obviously, I think every musician would just like people to appreciate it in their own terms as well. But is there any kind of underlying message you'd like them to take away? Or something they think about?
I think the thinking about is that it's basically what everyone's been saying in response to the situation over the last, over the last 10 years particularly, you know, and absolutely now. But we should know this, but we didn't do anything about it. Everything looked good, you know. Everything was acceptable. There was a lot of tolerance. And then something changed, and I don't know. I'm trying to pinpoint when that is, but the point is, we took everything for granted. They took it back.
Yep.
Exactly that. They took it back, and they took it back very hard. And we didn't stand up and protect it. And we're not doing that now. Not enough. I know it's hard. Everyone's got a life to get on with. Everyone has to pay the bills. I work. I don't finish work till 8 o'clock every night. And I do this because I think it needs to be said, and because it's just what I do. It's my passion. It's how I communicate what I want to say. But we have to stop burying our heads, really, and accept the fact that things are going in the wrong direction. And we need to find a way to express that and say to people, you know, and say to the people in power and the people in authority that this isn't really what we want.
Yeah.
I don't think space is
I totally agree. I totally agree. You know, for my own sins, I've committed to 4 events in London this year.
Yeah.
And each one of those is a non-conference, because I just feel like we've created a world with, like, the areas that we think that we're creating for substance and value and whatever are just noise.
Yeah.
Right? So, and it's a hard sell, Ian. I'm telling you now, it's a real hard sell, but I'm getting there. I'm inviting leaders to come to a table and just sit in conversation for a day. No selling. No, oh, I'm a speaker, look at me. None of that. Just
no lobbying.
Exactly. No kind of handing out of crap tote bags with rubber balls in or whatever, and saying, oh, look, but just come and sit at the table and take part in some of the conversation, big topics and big conversations that are important in the world right now. I'm getting there.
Okay. No, that's brilliant.
And hopefully we'll get more people around the table. But it is hard because I think we've become so accustomed to noise.
Yeah.
Don't you? I think.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a brilliant idea. I'm so happy that you're doing that. Really,
noise without value is not worth it. It's just not worth it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's just it's a performance. Everyone's gone, because we have a dumbass president in the USA who was basically propelled to power just because of an image on social media and TV. And, this guy's a jerk. He's an idiot. But everyone is now performing. And it's like, no, I don't want you to perform. That's for artists and other people, That's for having fun. That's entertainment. You have a serious job now. Get on with it, please.
Yeah.
All of them. It's get off social media. All of you, get off social media. If you're a politician, don't go on social media. It's a joke. Go and talk to the people in the town you represent. No?
Yeah.
Perhaps.
I think that is part of the problem, isn't it? It's all social media has got a lot to answer for, an awful lot to answer for. And personally, I predict people coming off social media. To some extent, really do.
Yeah.
One of the things I'm working on as well is getting people to start their own online communities rather than outside of social media platforms, rather than spend time on social media, because then you're just competing with the noise, right? Online, the online bit, the technology isn't the problem. How we're using that technology is the problem.
Exactly. It's always that. It's always that. But I think you're right. It's people. Nobody ever says, you know what? I should do more Instagram. I should do more TikTok. It's like, oh, I should smoke 20 some more cigarettes a day. I really should. I think I'm going to do that. No, everyone talks about reducing. And I think a lot of people they don't want to pay any attention. It becomes like emails from work. No, you don't want that in your free time.
It's interesting because my younger children are actually quite anti social media, and I wonder whether it will turn. I wonder whether there's actually a point where there will be a generation that just goes, no, sorry,
well,
I'm out. I want to just enjoy my life.
I think so,
It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting.
Well, I think we shouldn't underestimate. You've got kids as young as 10. We shouldn't ever underestimate teenagers. Again, The Breakfast Club. The quote from David Bowie before this movie. And these children, as you spit on, as they try and change the world, are immune to your conversation. They are quite aware of what they're going through. These kids are not dumb. They might be a bit with the smartphones, but that's what we gave them. They're not dumb. They will fix it. They will sort it out.
I think they will. I look forward to it. This is a great album.
But we have to be there to help them out, you know. Yeah.
No, we do. It's a great album, Ian. Thank you for sharing it.
Oh, thank you for having me on.
When can people get hold of it? How can they get hold of it? What's it been?
It's on all the kind of streaming platforms, but Bandcamp is always the best place.
Yeah, because
you know,
it gives people actual money. Bandcamp, which is rather nice.
Yeah, but I want people to listen to it. I'm not really interested in if they buy it. I want people to listen to it. I have a job, you know. I have to pay the bills with that, you know. Just listen to it, and when I play live, come and see me.
Absolutely.
You know?
Listen, it's been a pleasure speaking to you again, Ian. We will put
thank you, Graham.
Ian's new album. Just if you're listening to this on Spotify, it will literally, because I know it's an absolute balls ache for you to move anywhere at all. If you just move your thumb from there to there and press, there it is. You're now listening to it. It's as simple as that. That's one of the advantages of doing a podcast is you can embed the music straight in there, and then people can do it without even having to flick an eyelid. So there we go.
That's very cool.
It is cool. It's a clever thing. We will be back soon with more MyMusic. But until then, I hope you've enjoyed this conversation today with Ian. Please do go and check the music out. Till then, bye for now.